Hello friends, welcome back to CSS, and today we are going to learn about box model. So what is box model in CSS? Now this is my blank HTML5, it's my boilerplate, and I linked my styles.css file with index.html. As you can see the structure of my pages. So what is box model? Now the all HTML elements, whether it is div, body, paragraph and h1, h2 or whatever kind of tag, we can actually consider it as a box. So in CSS, the box model represents the design and layout of our sites, and it consists of margins from top, right, bottom and left, same with borders and paddings and the actual content itself. So a box includes these four things: margins, borders, paddings and the actual content. Now the properties work in some same order, and I will tell you what it is meant by the properties work in the same order, which is top, right, bottom and then left. Now this is my HTML page, and here I'm going to create an div, okay, and with class of box1, and I just put a little text here like box1, and just make a copy of it with box2 and change the label from here also. Now this is my box1 and box2. Let me show you in web browser. This is box1 and this is box2. So first of all, I'm going to my styles.css, and here I am going to style a little bit so you can see what is happening clearly. So first of all, I'm using the universal selector that will help you to apply what I will write here to all the HTML elements. So I'm just setting it, I'm just giving it my own settings to remove browser default settings, margin padding 0 and box sizing 0. Now don't worry if you don't know about box sizing, we will cover it later. So next thing is, let me show you first what is happening. Now once I refresh the page, you can see the box1 and box2 is to the very top corner, very left top corner appearing. So now I'm just going to color it. So first of all, with dot box1, I'm just giving it a background of white. Now from here I'm going to change its color. It looks like something this. Come here, refresh the page, and then again make a copy of it with box2 and then just change its color. Let's pause this one. Now what is box model actually? So this is my content, and with the thing that is touching my content is padding. So first of all, I'm going to give it is a padding here. So not a padding box. Oops, I have to close it first. Now padding here and of 50 pixel. And once I refresh my page, as you can see, this is my content and padding is added from here, here, here and here. Now why it is happening? It is happening because we make it to happen. Actually, this is my content, and then the very most thing that is coming towards content, this is my content, and the very most thing that is covers my content and that is coming towards my content is padding. So this is my content and this is padding. The space is padding in the form of background. So this is my first thing that I included. Now the next thing is border. Of, let's suppose 5 pixel of border and solid black. Refresh the page, and as you can see, this is my box model border. So this is my content, this is padding, and this is border. Now the last thing is margin, and I'm also giving a margin of 30 pixel. Refreshing the page, and as you can see, the margin is the outside of my box. So this is the box, this is the content inside the box, this is the padding inside, outside the content, and outside the padding there is a border, and outside the border there is a margin. Now why it is important to learn box model? Because we cannot make good layouts without learning box model. We have to know about how, if I want to create a box of 300 by 300 pixels, like 300 width and 300 height, so if the padding is 5 pixels from all sides, then that means it is 5 pixels from here, 5 pixels from here, 5 pixels from here, and 5 pixels from here. That means it is 20 pixels that is adding in my 300 by 300. So that means it is 320 by 320. So I have to decrease the width and height of my box to make it a correct width and height based box. So for this purpose, we used box model theory then applied here. So now I'm just going to show you box model with some graphical view. Let me tell you about the images of box model. Maybe this one is, yeah. Now friends, as you can see, this is my content, and the content is the very most thing which is inside of our box. Now the first thing is our content, and outside the content there is a padding from top, padding from right, then bottom, and then left, and it comes in a sequence: padding top, right, bottom, left. It's a clockwise sequence. We use it in shorthand properties. I will also tell you about shorthand properties. So now the next thing after padding is border. There's the border, and then the total margin here: top, right, bottom, and left. So this way we can recognize our box model. Now if I want to make a box of 300 by 300, wait a minute. Yeah, if I want to make a box of 200 by 300, now what I have to do is, when I give it 200 by 300, this is my 200 and this is my 300, actually when I give it a padding of 5 pixels, it will apply from all sides. Okay, so that means that it is 220 pixels by 320 pixels. Now we have to make sure how we can change it. So we have to decrease our width and height. So this concept is our box model. Now don't worry if you're confused a little bit, so watch the whole tutorial again and visit some resources like W3 schools maybe is the best resource for learning about things, new things, and MDN also. Now inside HTML, no, it's maybe CSS. Yeah, inside CSS box model. Yeah, here is the box model. It is opening. Wait a minute. Yeah. So it is saying that all HTML elements can be considered as boxes that I told you. In CSS, the term box model is used when talking about design and layout. I told you about this thing. And then the CSS box model is essentially a box that wraps around every HTML element. Yeah, and it consists of margins, borders, padding, and actual content. Yeah, I told you this thing also. The image below is straight borders. Yeah, I told you this thing. And the content is the content of the box where text and images appear. Padding is clears an area around the content. The padding is a transparent. Okay, so padding actually give us space around our content. Now the border goes around the padding and content, and margin clears the area outside the border. So this is our margin, and margin is also transparent. And here there is a little bit demonstration of margin, paddings, width and height of an element. In order to set the width and height of an element correctly in all browsers, you need to know how box model works. And important thing is, when you set the width and height properties of an element in CSS, you just set the width and height of the content area. To calculate the full size of an element, you must also add padding, border, and margins. That I told you that if you want to make a correct box, you have to calculate padding, borders, and margins. If you apply a padding of 3 or 10 pixels, you have to minus from your actual content width. Now here is a demonstration. Here is a calculation of there is a 320 pixel of width plus 20 pixel from left and right padding, and 10 pixel of left and right border, and 0 pixel of left and right margin. So it totally becomes 10 plus 20 is 30, 30 plus 20 is 50, 350 pixels of our width. So we have to make sure. Now the total width of an element should be calculated like this. There is a formula. You can come here and check the formula. This is my width, the left padding, the right padding, the left border, the right border, the left margin, and the right margin. It will tell you the width. And similarly applies with height. Height plus top padding and bottom padding, and then top border and bottom border, top margin and bottom margin. So it will tell you the whole height of your whole box. Now the total height of an element should be calculated like this, and it is telling here, I don't yeah, I wasn't seen it before. So height plus top padding, top border, bottom border, and top margin and bottom margin. So there are the quick exercises. You can also do these exercises. So this is our quick introduction to box model. I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and I hope you learn a lot from this tutorial. If you have any questions, you can comment it down, and I will be there for helping you. So don't worry if you are not understanding anything, and I will make all the kind of tutorials. So don't worry at all. This is channel for full stack developers and for front ends and for back end. So don't think that it is only for front end, or it is only for back end, or it is just a crappy thing. Now I'm just making these tutorials for you, and it is very basic level, so I'm just try to tell you and try to teach you very most basics of everything, so it will help you in future and in your jobs and interviews. So thank you all and have a good day.